Hey there, welcome to day 226 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom, I'm going to adjust this a little bit. Today we're talking about emotional health and well-being, of course, and emotional energy. What is emotional energy? What's the difference between high and low emotional energy? I'll share a couple of people's stories, 5 ways to enhance and create more emotional positive energy in your life. And I'll talk about 4 different ways that we can measure emotional energy. How do we know what our emotional energy level is? So methods to assess it, then 5 ways to boost our emotional energy, because for the most part, we want our emotional energy to be high for periods of concentration, clarity. We want to really pay attention to and focus on and get great results in different areas and aspects of our life. We want to have high emotional energy, not low. So let me demonstrate this with a couple of people's stories. Linda is a caregiver, and she's trying to balance caregiving for her parents, her aging parents, and working a full-time job. And she is finding that although she loves her family, the constant demand is leaving her emotionally exhausted. I think a lot of people can relate to this nowadays. My family probably feels that way about me. So she began to track her moods and her energy patterns so she could identify, and I do this too because I learned a long time ago, I'm great early in the morning and then pretty good in the morning, and then by afternoon, I get this energy slump. Afternoon, usually after lunchtime, between 2 and 4 o'clock, sometime in there, I just feel exhausted. So I'm not going to do activities during 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon that require my focus, my attention, and a lot of energy. It's usually a time when I will find quiet activities, go for a walk in nature, find ways to rest or recharge my batteries. And so that's what she did. And she found that by reserving and self-care tasks and important tasks to the times where she was, like me, the best, at her best and most emotionally energetic and energetic as well, it helped to reduce her overwhelm, and it was a simple strategy that restored both her emotional balance and improved her relationships, not only with her parents, but with her co-workers and colleagues as well. Marcus is an athlete chasing peak performance. He's a cyclist, and he has immense physical stamina, but he found that he has fluctuating emotional energy. He noticed it during periods of high stress, his performance would go down despite intense training. And I know several people that experience this same thing. Working with a sports psychologist, which is what we recommended, he learned to channel his emotions through visualization techniques, which is what a lot of athletes do, and high performers, as well as mental resilience training. And so by aligning his emotional energy with his physical energy and stamina, he was able to reach new personal heights in his performance and found greater mental stability during competitions and things. So he wasn't stressed out when there was a competition, and that switching that emotional energy and increasing his emotional energy along with his physical energy and stamina gave him better performance and better results in competitions. So how do we recognize and measure emotional energy? Here, I'm going to share 4 ways that we can experience or notice high emotional energy. And I'll share 4 ways that would be symptoms of low emotional energy. Feeling motivated and optimistic is an example of high emotional energy. Engaging enthusiastically in tasks, being excited about the things that you're doing, consistent focus and mental clarity, and then positive social interactions, positive, interactions with other people, other humans, and things. Low signs of low emotional energy would be irritability and emotional numbness, difficulty making decisions, feeling overwhelmed by minor challenges, because we all have challenges all the time, and loss of interest in activities that you once enjoyed. So if all of a sudden you find yourself with, just not wanting to do the things that you used to love to do, that's a sign that your emotional energy might be negatively impacted. So what are some methods for assessing what our emotional energy level is? Well, number 1, do a daily self-check-in. I do a morning self-check-in to figure out and rate my mood, my energy, my excitement for the day, my motivation on a scale of 1 to 10. You might have noticed so far this year, I like to measure a lot of things and rate them just to give me a number that I can say, okay, I'm just average today. I'm a 5 today emotionally. I've got an important thing that I have to do today. How am I going to get that up so that I'm not at a 5 when I have to perform and do that task. Number 2, energy journaling. Just like mood journaling, which I still don't think we've talked about yet this month, but we will. Energy journaling is the same thing. Track the times of day when you have the most energy, when you're most energized or when you're most drained. And like I said, I've done that before, which is why I know 2 to 4 in the afternoon, I just want to zombie out and take a little pause or rest or do something in nature that recharges my batteries. Early in the morning, I've always been a morning person. Now, people talk about the power of morning routines. I've had a morning routine probably since I was 5 months old. Feedback from other people is another way to gauge our emotional energy. People are incredible, intuitive absorbers and feelers of other people's energy. You walk into a room, you look around, go to a party, you walk into the room, you look around, and you can just see the few people that are lighting up that room. You can also see the few Debbie Downers or crazy Karens or whatever that are putting negative emotional energy into the room. We all are great at that. We just don't give ourselves enough credit for it. But by getting feedback from others, colleagues, family members, etc., about noticeable changes in our attitude or in our productivity, that helps us to understand our emotional energy as well. And then there's psychological and physiological clues as to where our emotional energy is. Monitor your sleep quality. How are you sleeping? Monitor your appetite. More appetite, less appetite. Some of us are stress eaters. I will raise my hand on that. And when I'm stressed out, I will eat more and things that I normally don't eat because I know they're not good for me. Physical tension indicators in our body somewhere. Usually when we are stressed or feeling a strong emotion, we feel it somewhere in our body. So pay attention to where that is, because that's a clue that you can work on to release the tension in that area to improve your physiological as well as emotional well-being. So what are some practical strategies? I'm going to share 5 practical strategies to boost our emotional energy, because we perform better when we're making better decisions, when we're positive, when we're clear, when we're focused. And that all happens at a higher level of emotional energy than a lower level of emotional energy. So how do we do this? Number 1, prioritize sleep and rest. One of the fastest, easiest ways to be stressed out and distressed or depressed or any of the other low vibration energies is if we're not getting enough sleep and rest. I envy the people that nap. My sisters nap in the afternoons now. I mean, as we're getting older, they're like, hey, I just have to have some downtime in the afternoon to recharge my batteries for the evening. Engage in meaningful activities. Participate in things that mean something to you. It's going to be different for each and every one of us, but make sure that you're following something that makes you passionate, because passion naturally has more emotional energy along with it. 3, set boundaries. It's one of the areas that most of us need to work on to protect our emotional space and our sanity in some situations. Say no to commitments that drain you. If something doesn't feel right for you, it's not right for you. So just say no. No is a full, complete sentence. You don't have to explain to anyone why it's no. It's usually no for a handful of reasons from all of us. It's not a priority for me. I don't have the bandwidth or the time or the energy to put into this, etc. It's pretty simple. So just say no and then stand silently for a minute. That is one of the best ways to set boundaries. 4, physical movement. Get your body up and moving. Go for a walk. Go stand outside and let the sun shine on your face. It stimulates endorphins, which improve our mood and increase our emotional stamina. So get moving. Sometimes to increase our emotional energy, all we have to do is stand up, right? Stand up, walk around, walk to the microwave and get a cup of coffee. Do something. Do some movement. Do some yoga, do some jumping jacks, do some deep knee bends, do something. And then 5, practice gratitude and mindfulness. I think we've talked about this dozens and dozens of times this year. The power of gratitude, appreciating what is so that you can create more of that, and focusing on what it is that you want, being mindful and present in what you're doing. So emotional energy, rate yourself on 1 to 10 today. Spend a couple of minutes thinking about, when is my emotional energy the strongest? And then I say pick one of the 5 ways to practice and boost your emotional energy, and do that today. Share in the comments below that you've done it, or what you did and the impact it had on you. If you need any help, you know what to do. Ask, right? Just ask me. Otherwise, go out, make it an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.